Hello. Good morning, good morning. If you give me permission,
Yes.
may I touch here?
Yes. Thank you very much. We're twins. We are twins.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, yes. Nail powder balls. Nail powder balls.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Me
Oh,
again.
yes.
Morning. So excuse me. Yeah. He knows which chair is his. Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Ann Curry, and I'm here as a acquaintance of His Holiness, and I've been asked to facilitate the news conference. Say your name one more time. Sepa. Tenzin Sepa is the interpreter, and so he's here as well. Your Holiness,
Also scholar
he's also a scholar.
and disrobed monk. That also one. When you see, mixing with these people, and I feel proud. I never disrobed. Yes.
So I was told that you might have a statement.
Yes. Firstly, wherever I go, with the feeling, I'm one of you. We are same human being. As a matter of fact, 7 billion human beings on this planet, actually brothers, sisters, emotionally, mentally, physically, we are same. Then, most important part is from childhood, from birth, we want happy life. Everyone have the right to be happy person. Now here the point. When we are a child, with parent and particularly mother's affection, you see, really give the child safety, happy. Then gradually, when we join education, unfortunately, existing education system, so-called modern education system, very much oriented about material value. So therefore, not only myself, but a number of educationists and also scientists have the view, the existing education system is not adequate to bring a compassionate human being. We only pay attention about our brain, not our warm-heartedness. So, my number one commitment is, as a human brother, one of the 7 billion human beings, we are a social animal. Biologically, we all have the seed of love or compassion. So now our education should help to strengthening this basic human value, compassion. So my number one commitment is try to promote awareness, the importance of warm-heartedness, education, development of brain alone not sufficient. Smart brain, wonderful, but combined with warm-heartedness, then our life become much more calm, happier. These good quality, brain intelligence through education, and then warm-heartedness, basically from birth we already have. Then this education also should include to strengthening our basic human nature, that's human love, compassion. So that my number one commitment. The second commitment, I am Buddhist monk. I think now 58 years I live in India. So India, I feel the only country where all major religious traditions live together. Occasionally some problem here and there, that is understandable. Usually I used to saying the 1.1 billion Indian human being. So there are some mischievous people, must be there. So some problem here and there, a little bit. But overall, I think India is, as a sort of most populated democratic country, and all major religious traditions live together. So therefore, I believe, yes, it is possible to create genuine harmony, genuine friendship, or harmony on the basis of friendship, on the basis of mutual respect, mutual learning. So India, a complicated nation, but 1,000 years is that kind of tradition kept. So why not, a different part of the world, we can develop religious harmony. So with that conviction, my second commitment is promotion of religious harmony. Then third, I am Tibetan, and many Tibetans trust me. But so regarding Tibetan problem, the political matter, now since 2011, I totally retired. Not only myself retired, but also almost, 4 centuries tradition, Dalai Lama institution automatically become head of both temporal and spirituality. Now that voluntarily, happily, proudly ceased, ended. So now the political matter, elected political leadership carry this responsibility. So I totally retired. So then, as a Tibetan, and maybe furthermore, as a Dalai Lama, so my main sort of effort is the preservation of Tibetan culture. I think now today, I mentioned the Chancellor, the 1,000-year-old India's tradition, and India itself not much pay attention. But we, since 8th century, the one Indian great master, Sishanta Rakshita, he came to, he invited by Tibetan emperor. He introduced Buddha Dharma according to Nalanda tradition. So Nalanda tradition, not only just religion, but philosophy, logic and knowledge about mind, psychology, these things. So these things we kept over 1,000 years. So therefore, I think among Buddhist countries, only Tibetan tradition, these sort of, because of the subject, logic, Buddhist logic, and psychology and philosophy, that is quite similar. Quantum physics and psychology is concerned. Modern psychology, compare ancient Indian psychology, modern psychology appears to me as a result of over 30 years sort of discussion with scientists. Now is it
These lights are a bit warm.
It become quite sort of,
yeah, it's very
clear.
Very...
Compare Indian traditional sort of knowledge about psychology. Oh, that's good. That's better.
There you go.
The modern psychology looks like, if may I say so, modern psychology looks like kindergarten level. Ancient Indian psychology, highly developed. So I fully convinced the knowledge which we kept over 1,000 years is really worthwhile to keep, not only interest for Tibetan people, a large number of Chinese Buddhists. Nowadays, about 400 million Buddhist population in China. So many of them now really showing interest about Tibetan Buddhist tradition. And then the other sort of Buddhist country also, like Thai Buddhists and Sri Lanka Buddhists, now among the scholars now gradually showing interest about this knowledge. Then, over the humanity level, I think these should not consider as a sort of Buddhist part of Buddhist practice. No, these are academic subjects. We can share humanity about our mind, emotion. That's important. You see, in order to tackle our emotion, the knowledge of emotion is very relevant. So I usually describe in our education, we also include hygiene of physical. So similarly, I think we should have a hygiene of emotion through education. So now these, and then environment. Tibet, people usually call roof of the world. Major rivers from China up to Pakistan, all these major rivers, ultimate source from Tibetan glaciers, Tibetan plateau, like that. So I think at least 1 billion human beings' life depend on these rivers. Therefore, special care about environment in that part, I think something important. I know one Chinese ecologist in China itself. He wrote a few years ago, one article. He noticed, you see, effect global warming from Tibetan plateau is like the same amount of the same effect from South Pole, North Pole. Therefore, he described Tibetan plateau as third pole. That's one Chinese ecologist. I saw that article like that. So therefore, I another aspect of Tibetan problem is preservation or special care about the environment. So, then beside that, nothing. Taking care myself. So I annually come to Mayo Hospital. So the 13th I reached there, the 14th medical checkup. Then they mentioned my physical condition is very good. So, so this knees problem is that I think 3 years ago, one German physician, I show, you see, one specialist about knees. Then he thorough checked physical, and he mentioned my physical condition is very good. Now this problem, knees problem, then he mentioned to me, you are not 18 years old person, but 80-year-old person. Now this is more or less normal way. So I think older people, same same age, around 80, eventually so some problem here. That is normal. And also you see less and less hair. So that's the indication of wisdom. Old age, a lot of experience, so more wisdom. So the indication of the physical level, more shining. So now, the why is I should mention these things. You media people also have the responsibility for promotion of human value, human compassion, not as a religious matter, but as a human being. Biologically, we all have the seed of love here. And we are social animal. The emotional level, the certain emotion which bring together, that's a human love. Anger, expel. Anger occasionally come, but should not become the superior way in our emotion. Dominant. So dominant should be more loving kindness. So you mediate people, occasionally educate people in order to create peaceful society, happy society. Money, power will not bring. So these material development, very important, but we should not neglect about our inner value. That please, the media people, please pay more attention. Then religious harmony. Now recent years, although I think in human history, in the past also, in India also, you see there some sort of conflict in the name of different religious tradition. So now today, in the name of religion, some conflict. These are very, very unfortunate. So we can develop harmony, coexistence with different faith, a different color. In India, you see, there is some, I think, bad habit, the caste system. Caste system. That now, many of my Indian friends, you see, we sort of make some kind of pledge. Now we have to change, you see, these things. So like that. So you have the responsibility. So that much I want to share with you. Then, now, your questions. Any questions?
Who has a question you would like to ask the Dalai Lama? There have been some questions that were submitted. I see one in the back. Go ahead. Yes, you.
What is your chief environmental concern for the U.S. at this point?
그래서,
What is your chief? Go ahead.
어?
고유부터 정식 동안하고 지시까지.
Yesterday, when I fly from Kasa, register, and up to here, and more north, green or fields, beautiful, and many rivers. Now this part, more desert. There are some indication. Previously, some small lake now seems to reduce. That's quite common, and particularly when you see we're passing through over Afghanistan and some area, some country in that part. Oh, now there are many sort of many lakes, lakes now completely dry. And there are some sort of traces farm, now nothing there because of global warming, water shortage there. In Tibet also, you see, some elder Tibetan, they say when they were young, some mountain, much more snow. Then decade by decade, snow reduce. So therefore, we have to take seriously about environment issue. This is issue of global sort of a global issue. Yes? So America, part of the world.
You have been noted for your sense of humor. I'm wondering, can your sense of humor be applied to problems that we face in the world?
그래서 human.
시험시해야 되지라 그 깨달아
네.
그래서 이 아무래도 어떤 나와 간ye만 보셔 봐 된수세야 같이 대 여러 회사.
I don't know. Yes?
Yeah, Holiness, San Diego and UCSD are feeding the biotech industry, which is a major center in San Diego. How do you address drug companies that have responsibilities to shareholders, but also responsibilities to society to provide affordable medicine and affordable cures? How do you balance the need for the stockholders, the shareholders, and society in drug companies?
Drug. I think except some sort of the drugs which, harmful. Otherwise those pharmaceutical, you see, produce medicine or drug. This is very important. I also, you see, take daily different drugs according to doctor's sort of prescription. So that's good. But what
His
is your point is?
His question is, companies have to make money. Drug companies have to make money. So to make money, they want to make the people their investors happy. But don't they also have an obligation to make drugs available to people, even if there isn't enough money? So how do they balance the motivation to make medicines, even... He'll do a better job.
Oh, yes. Without money, we can't do. Money important. So while you see, you carry some sort of service to the public, but in the meantime, without money, you can't do. So you have to make more balanced way. Otherwise, I don't know. I think you know better. Like that.
There's a question here.
In the face of deep personal pain,
Huh?
if someone is suffering deep personal pain, can you tell me how one can turn that pain and anger into love, compassion, and forgiveness toward the one that harmed you?
Oh. These are not like just pill, medicine. Some pain here and take pill, the pain disappear. Not like that. Mental level problem. You need years training. In order to carry effective training, you need fuller knowledge about our emotion, about our mind. So that's why, as I mentioned earlier, is education field. Now you should include education about our emotion, about our mind, psychology. Then also you see stress. For our own individual health, individual happiness, family level happiness, and community level, finally global level, the warm-heartedness is key thing. So if we carry systematically some, educate people, the younger generation. I usually is describing generation of 20th century and generation of 21st century. So certainly you, my elder brother maybe, you and myself, and I think many of you, we are the generation of 20th century. Now 20th century gone, only now remain in history. We can learn, otherwise nobody can change past. Only possibility of change is future. So generation of 21st century, those people whose age below 30, 20, you are the 21st generation. So you can change future. Sometimes I jokingly say, telling people, my generation, 20th century, I think we create a lot of problem on this planet.
That's true.
So now, more work for the 21st generations. They have to solve this problem. So that's because I need to control it. So now through training, through awareness, now for example, number of Tibetan practitioners who spent several years in Gulag, the Chinese Gulag, a lot of sort of suffering. When some of them I met, they say, oh, during those years in prison, they found best time for practice of forgiveness, practice of tolerance and compassion. So as a result, such old person, I often used to mentioning one old monk when I was in Tibet, till 59. We know each other very well. One, not learned, but a good monk. Now, I think in 80s, like some other Tibetan, is have the opportunity come to India. So he also come. Since we know very well, so the original, at the beginning, I spent some time with him, talk, and his sort of experience. Then he expressed to me, while in Chinese sort of Gazati, gulags, a few occasions he faced some danger. I thought danger may be on his life. Then I asked, what kind of danger? His answer is losing compassion towards the predators. So those Chinese officials, you see, who really, you see, showing very negative attitude, he consider losing compassion towards such people is very dangerous. So result, now his age, 90, I think now almost 99-year-old, his mind clear because of the practice of compassion and so practice of forgiveness. And I also, you see, in 2000 2008, some crisis happened in Lhasa and eventually many parts of Tibet. So at that time, I also practiced, you see, some of these Chinese officials visualize in front of me and take their anger, their suspicion, take to myself and give tolerance or love to them. That kind of practice. There are such practice there. So I practice especially at that time. So it won't help to solve the problem. But as far as keeping my peace of mind is concerned, very, very helpful. So like that. So we can do. Yes?
So I have to stop.
I think I may add one thing. One American old scientist, Aaron Beck. Anyone who knows that? You know. Aaron Beck.
Yeah, Harvard professor of psychology.
When
Harvard.
No.
No.
I don't think.
Princeton, he thinks.
So my first meeting with him, then his age 84, at Stockholm I met. Because I very much sort of impressed his sort of finding. So one of my previous visits here, I went to his place. Then his age, 96 or 7, like that. So he told me. So he treated people who have much disturbances by anger. Several decades, you see, he's a non-believer. He told me he found those angry person. You see, their anger towards someone, and that because of the person or the object which they feel angry appears very negative. But in reality, 90% of that negativeness is mental projection. That's exactly ancient Indian psychology mentioned like that. So when we knowing that, something so-called your enemy appears very negative, but actually, so long your anger there appears very negative. Then your anger little reduce. Then that, not that bad. And someone say, that person praising you, then you immediately change. So all this related with our own mental projection. So these, I think, and then also the quantum physics, also very helpful.
Quantum physics is helpful.
Nothing exists as appears. Everything does not exist by objectively. So observers sort of involvement very much. So therefore, knowing that also is very helpful. So I often, express those genuine quantum physicists who not just intellectual sort of the understanding, but I think convinced nothing exists by objectively. Such, I think, genuine scientist. I wish someone who observe genuine quantum physicist, their reaction towards, let's say, the negative appearance or positive appearance, because of the appearances. I think there may be differences. So all this, Buddhists call the understanding reality. Reality, nothing exists by independently due to other factor. So that we apply, that view, that understanding, try to reduce the strength of destructive emotion. Like that. Yes?
So I'm so sorry to say that the organizers have said that you have a public talk in a few minutes. And I don't know if there's a way for us to quickly answer this question.
The main responsibility is to me. One of my weakness is once my mouth open, then blah, 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 go like that. So now you should ask me, please answer shorter.
Okay, so then, because we have to go to our 9 o'clock event, and people are going to be waiting.
How far? Here?
Or 10 o'clock, or whatever time it is next.
So then, quite near. Quite near.
So do you
Even necessary, we can fly.
So our 10 o'clock event. So, okay, one more he's going to choose.
There are a number of students from mainland China who are protesting your visit today. What do you have to say to them, sir?
That's normal. See, I think most of them do not know what is the reality. They only the official sort of version. Now, for example, the official sort of the attitude towards me. In some cases, there are some officials who describe me as a demon. So a few years ago, I was in Italy, one conference with number of mayors. So there, one morning, mayors, and then we met together. We met some media people. Then one media person asked me, some Chinese official describe you as a demon. What do you feel? Then I respond, yes, I'm demon with horn. Dangerous. Nothing. So I really feel pity. They do not know the reality like that. And then they describe me as a spiritist. In spite past history, we fully committed not seeking separation. As early as 1974, we determined, we committed, we are not seeking independence because our own sort of, because of the interest. Tibet, poor country, big area. So we need modernization and more material development. For that reason, remain within the People's Republic of China is our interest. Meantime, as I mentioned earlier, millions of Chinese Buddhists, we can serve them. Already, many Chinese Buddhists, from time to time, come to India receiving my teaching like that. And then another thing, you from mainland China? Oh, very good. Wine.
I have a question for you.
Wait. Meantime, I also, you see, telling, since I think 2 years, I'm telling Chinese friend, now China, People's Republic of China need another cultural revolution. That cultural revolution, not by hatred or anger, but compassion. So China need compassionate revolution. Actually, the original sort of Karl Marx's sort of idea is very much concerned about working class people's right. At that time in Europe, you see, industrialization gradually come. So a lot of suffering, working class people. Few elite family, they exploit too much. So therefore, Karl Marx has come now, especially fight for right of working class people and equal distribution. So therefore, I very much attracted that. So therefore, as far as socio-economic theory is concerned, I am Marxist. So now, one Marxist monk, now, telling you, and among the American imperialists, American capitalists. So therefore, now China, under the leadership of Communist Party, and especially under the leadership of Xi Jinping, I think some kind of effective movement to bring compassion in Chinese country, in People's Republic of China, 中国大陆, 中华人民共和国. Buddhism is not an alien religion to the Chinese mind, including Chairman Mao Zedong. Is his family Buddhist family, Buddhist background, like that. So therefore, I think according to the Chinese tradition, they respect elder people, these things there. So now there's some kind of movement or cultural revolution about compassion that I feel need.
So to follow with your compassion message, I think equally very important is freedom and human rights. So my question is related to freedom and human rights. There has been in the past 10 years persistent evidence of prisoners of conscience in China, including Tibetans and Falun Gong practitioners being killed for their organs. And I would like
Yes.
to ask you what you know about Tibetans being harvested, and what do you think about this crime against humanity, and how we, as people in the outside, freedom work and do.
Do you
I
know?
heard that, but I think these things, if possible, so further research and concrete evidence, that's important.
All right. Thank you so much. We have to go, or there'll be lots of people waiting and very unhappy. There may already be. Thank you so much.